Welcome to Same But Different, where we review movies weekly. This week, we are reviewing A Quiet Place, Day 1. Shh. Let's jump right into the review. Let's not waste any time here.
Should I whisper my entire review?
Please don't.
I liked it, mostly. I don't even have much, there's good and there's bad and stuff. There's just this really big glaring thing I didn't like. It started so strong.
Great start.
I think it had a really good intro into Sam's character and what was going on with her. It built a really good foundation for us to care about her character. And then that initial attack was everything I wanted. It was larger than life. The aliens were scary, and you knew they were an impossible force to be reckoned with. You're not going to fight these aliens off. I'm going to say about halfway through the movie, the aliens really took a back seat in the main focus of this movie, and we were left with what kind of just felt like an indie drama with shit happening in the background a lot of the time. To call this another entry in the Quiet Place universe felt like a lie a little bit. It just didn't feel as menacing or as tense as the first two movies did, with that dread and that intensity constantly throughout. Even during the character work in the first two movies, you were always dreading stuff. But in this one, oftentimes, I was like, it just really became about the characters, which normally I would love in a movie. But
yeah.
The issue with it becoming about the characters is that it really didn't flesh them out individually. It fleshed them out together.
Apes together, strong!
The movie did a really good job of quickly and believably having these two characters form a beautiful bond, oftentimes unspoken, and you did grow to care about their connection. But I didn't know much about either of them individually. Sam is a girl dying of cancer who really wants pizza. And then the other guy, Joseph Quinn's character, I want to say Eric, is this timid guy with anxiety who we know nothing about. So what I think ultimately is that this movie would have been so far better, so much far better if it didn't fall into being a prequel to A Quiet Place. It didn't feature the aliens nearly as much as you'd think the beginning of this apocalypse would. I was really worried that the cat was only there for there's a cat, like a Disney movie with its silly little cute sidekick. They did a really good job implementing that cat to being a pivotal role in their relationship. This is a tiny little thing. We needed to know why Eric came out of that flooded subway. Why was he down there?
When the alien invasion happened, he made a conscious choice to dive underwater and hold his breath until hopefully it was over, and then he came up for air. That's how I read it.
That's cool. I didn't. What I think would have really helped this movie is the very cliche, it gives us 10 minutes of both of their stories at the beginning, and then the apocalypse happens, and then they join forces, because I wanted a little more of him, especially with the way the movie goes and how it ends and stuff. No spoilers into the ending. It was very cliche, and it was exactly how I thought it was going to go the entire movie. I'm pretty sure I called it as soon as they met.
I'm so smart it hurts!
But how else? It was perfect. It was exactly how the movie needed to go.
Yeah.
And it also allowed the aliens to be a force to be reckoned with again, which was nice to see it kind of come back to that, because that's what you wanted from this movie. So really good ending. Certainly sets it up to be a prequel that will be a better prequel once the next installment comes out, I think, if that makes sense. Yeah, I liked it. I needed more character work, but I liked it. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Okay, that's pretty good.
It was a very enjoyable time in the theaters.
The one point I will agree on you with is that it lacked the dread, it lacked the intensity, it lacked the moments where I felt like I needed to hold my breath.
Yeah.
And the ending, yeah, not to talk about it too much, but I wonder if you can call it cliche if that's the only way it could have feasibly made sense to end. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not the only way it could have made sense. It's just the most logical choice to make.
And is it predictable and cliche if you set up a character like that? You know what I mean?
Word, you know what I mean? You know that reading shit, you know what I mean? It's hard, son. Word, you know what I mean?
Because one of the best parts of this movie is her character. People will probably be able to piece the ending together just by me talking about it like this, but you find out within the first 2 minutes that she has cancer. Putting a character like that in an end of the world scenario, I love the fact that she's just like, I'm going to die anyway. This situation is fucked, but I'm going to go get pizza because I'm dying anyway. It doesn't matter. So how else You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
I think that was one of the best character choices to have in this film. And then slowly have her develop, not feelings, because there was no romance, which I loved about this movie.
Also, yep.
It was more of a human connection and empathy and sympathy towards another human being.
Everything he did out of his selfless heart was beautiful.
This is why I disagree with you a little bit on the character development, because I think there was plenty. I think there was enough.
Okay.
I would have appreciated a little bit of a preamble to his life, sure. But I think we got so much with his anxiety, his fear, his moving away from a different country to come here to pursue law school. And he talked about how he left his family behind, stuff like that. And then like through his kindness and through him, doing the magic trick and getting the pizza and pushing her to write again and saving her cat, like that was enough for me to solidify him as a character that I will love for eternity.
If the movie dealt better with that dread and intensity and had more of that, the amount we got was perfect.
Oh man, her name's Sam. Samira is her full name, I learned from the credits, but her name's Sam and her cat's name is Frodo.
Yeah.
Come on. I was content with the character development. The one thing that it fell short on for me was the dread and the intensity. Yeah, but that being said, I really like this film too.
Yeah, it was
like it had a lot. Yeah, it had a lot more heart than I was expecting it to. And then the other thing that I really wish this movie had more to it is, that's not a correct sentence, but you know what I mean. What I want from prequels, when prequels come out, when sequels come out, have it elevate the previous movies that came out. Add to the story. Add something to it. Being a prequel, much harder because we've learned things already, right? I want the subsequential movies that come out to add something to the world, and this one did not. The only thing I can think of is that, and I don't remember from the other two movies, is the whole water thing. Like they can hide behind a barrier of water or like talk during the rain or something.
Right.
I don't know if that happened during the other two movies, but like you don't learn anything new. That to me means this movie didn't necessarily need to be made. Even though it was a good film, it just didn't need to be made. Make a movie that needs to be made.
And that's why I was also saying, I think once the third one comes out and it all ties in, this will be an even better movie than it is right now.
The one other thing that really bothered me, and this is nitpicky because it's just like they had to move the plot forward somehow. So at the beginning, when everything goes down, the aliens invade and she gets knocked through a window, gets knocked out. Boop. She comes to, and all of a sudden, everybody knows to be quiet. How?
I think it's pretty intuitive.
No.
Because I noticed that, but I also kind of just accepted that you would figure that out.
Not that quickly.
When there's everyone running in the streets and only the people yelling are the people getting attacked, you think to shut up. When you're not dying after 10 minutes of shutting up.
Everybody in the streets are yelling and getting attacked, though. There's not anybody being quiet in that scenario. It's not believable for a second that, unless she was knocked out for several days, and we just didn't get to see them learn about it. But if she was only knocked out for an hour or two and she wakes up and everybody knows to be quiet, that to me, I would have loved to see something about their trial and error process of learning that.
I see what you're saying. Didn't bother me, still doesn't, but I get what you're saying, yeah.
I was really hoping it would. I too am sitting at a 7 out of 10. Yeah, this is the same episode.
Wow, I've heard those are worse episodes from people.
I have too. Yeah, everybody wants us to fight more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely more entertaining when we disagree.
It is what it is.
Maybe we'll disagree on the next one. The next one we're going to watch is The Bikeriders, starring Tom Hardy,
Jodie Comer,
Austin Butler, and Norman Reedus is in there. I'm excited to watch this film.
I'm excited for all but Austin Butler, but let's see. Let's see if this is the one. I think he's got a dumb face.
Oh, man. I'm sure he would say the same about you. Next week, Bikeriders. Come back. We're going to review it and hopefully disagree on it. That's it for now. We love you. Thanks for watching our review and being lovely watchers. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you like movies and reviews and watching us talk about things. Keep watching movies.
It is what it is.